All right, today we're going to talk about song structure. It's something that's very important for producers and songwriters. We're just going to talk the basics today. So I'm going to give you the basic song structure that you'll be able to recognize when you listen to something on the radio or your iPod or so on. This is a structure. These are fairly commercial structures. So if you're listening to prog music, something that's really out there, they probably won't have this structure. But if you're listening to mainstream stuff, this is probably going to be very similar to what they're doing. The most basic structure is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. So the chorus is where we lay down our hook. It's where the song gets most of its lift from, most of its catchiness from. It's the same every time. We keep going back to that. That's the chorus. It comes after the first verse and the second verse and after the bridge. So your verses are where you set your chorus up. So your vocals, everything might lead to what the chorus is saying in your verses. It might not. It might be more introspective. It might be more just like laying out the groundwork for thinking in that way. But your verse supports your chorus most of the time. So if we're going verse to chorus, and then we hit the bridge. The bridge is where the band has most freedom. Where any artist has the most freedom is in their bridges. It can be a heavy bridge. It can be a light bridge. There can be vocals. There can be a solo. Your bridge is a really cool area to play around with. It's a very, very free area. So you'll be able to identify the bridge because it'll be when the song completely changes after the second chorus. It'll be a new thing introduced after, a new part introduced after the second chorus. Now, let's talk about some variants to that structure, just some basic ones to start off with. Pre-choruses. So pre-choruses go between the verse and the chorus, and they lead you into the chorus. They might be a great transition from verse to chorus. So now your structure will be verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. Nice and easy that. I'm sure you've heard songs with pre-choruses, and every time it comes around, it's usually the same vocals and the same guitar parts and, same instrumental as well, basically. Usually they're exactly the same. They can change a little bit. Indie music loves to change them up just a tiny bit. So your pre-chorus can be a little different. Same with your verses. Your verses don't have to be dead on exactly like each other. If you want to be motifing, and motifing is just a small word, I guess. It's a small word to mean a big thing. That's when you do the same pattern symbolically and melodically. So same syllables, same melody, just with different words. So they don't always have to be that way, but you should probably see a motif between the first and second verse very similar. And when we hit the pre-chorus, there will actually probably most likely be exactly the same vocally, and the choruses should generally be exactly the same. That's how you identify where we are in the song. Now, let's add one more thing. Let's talk about intro and outro. And let's talk about it in the term of theme, because themes happen so often and people just think that they're intros and it came back. Themes are another transition in the song. It's almost like a B hook in a song. It keeps on coming back. It's likely catchy. There's likely a lead line over it that the band wants to get back to, or the artist wants to get back to over and over again. So if I were to add a theme to a song, I would probably, this would be my structure on a theme. Your intro is now a theme. So we'll do theme, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, theme again. So we're going to go from the chorus to the theme to get us to the verse again, just like we went from theme to verse at the beginning. So theme, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, theme, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. Now I'd probably do a single chorus and then the theme again to end it. So your theme will serve as your intro and your outro, but you know it's a theme because it comes back over and over again. It comes as your intro, it serves as your outro, and it served as a transition after your chorus to lead you back in to verse 2. So these are very basic structures. There's a lot that we could do. We really don't have our hands tied by structure. We could have a lot of fun, do different things. We could get into it with like delayed resolutions, accelerated resolutions. We could really get into a lot of different things. But if you just focus on these things and listen to some music, anything in the top 40 is going to have pretty much these sort of structures. So you'll be able to identify that, and a lot of other stuff will have these sort of structures too. So you'll be able to identify this in probably most of your favorite music, as long as it's not too progressive or anything like that. And if it is, if that's what you like, that's how you can write. You can write however you want. There's no right and wrong when it comes to music and what we're doing, putting records together and so on. But, understand your audience too. There's a story that Beethoven once got off of the structure. He did a different structure. It didn't have the same amount of, units of measurements. So usually it would go one way, and he decided that he's going to take it a different way and have, an extra part or an extra few parts or whatever he decided to do. And it's now hailed as amazing music. It was unbelievable. But when he was playing it, people were not very happy. a lot of audience didn't respond like this was good. They knew how music went, and he wasn't doing it right. They were upset about it. So when people get off of the structure, you actually do shrink your audience a bit, but your audience does probably become a little bit more musically inclined. A lot of really progressive bands, if you're like in Dream Theater or something, a ton of these fans are people who play instruments. So it's not a layman's game if you're going to go into some really, really crazy progressive stuff. But here you go. I mean, you now can identify parts in a song, and that will help you produce records, that will help you write records, that will help you structure, get lifts, and so on. We could talk more about arrangement and everything else, but this is a good start, just trying to figure out exactly how a structure works. All right, thanks for being with me on this one. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on the next one.